Hey, good morning. It's Saturday. It's like I don't know, it kind of looks like spring outside. Okay, right now it's almost 50 degrees. Anyway, we are here with you on the Inside Edge Network for today's episode of Illegal Formation. We got a pretty good one. We got some. I'm not gonna lie, there's some weird stuff to talk about in this episode, TK. But yeah, we're gonna get to we got AI enhancements and highlight football highlights, high school football highlight videos. Cavs are the walking wounded right now. I don't know what's going on, man. It's like every other night somebody breaks something. I don't really know. Everybody's out. That's whatever. They hung with the Pistons last night. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. And we got some combine stuff. Some guys, specifically some Ohio State guys, are showing out at the combine. Some pretty impressive numbers coming out of that. To be honest with you, I don't know if a lot of it's a surprise necessarily, but regardless, we'll get to that all in a moment. Reminder, we are brought to you by LPV Productions and by our sponsor, by the network sponsor, Alley Rose Fragrances. While we're talking about it, just real quick at the top of the show, might as well listen, visit AlleyRoseFragrances.com. You can get 20% off your entire order using our code InsideEdge20, capital I, capital E, all one word, InsideEdge20. Again, she's got candles, body mists here, all natural ingredients, vegan, cruelty-free products. And my wife is still burning the autumn day candle in her office. It's still going strong. It's barely even. I mean, it's not halfway done yet. To burn it for 6, 8, 10 hours a day working in there. So it smells phenomenal in our home. So please visit our sponsor at AlleyRoseFragrances.com and use our code InsideEdge20 to get 20% off your entire order. Your house is going to smell amazing, TK. That's all I can say. TK, before we get started, man, how's your weekend going? It's early. It's Saturday morning, but how you doing, man?
Doing all right so far. Enjoying this last day of February. Weather's been great these past couple of days, and think it's going to be even better next week. Granted, we're going to be met with some rain, so get ready for that. But I'm pretty sure a lot of us could use a break from the snow, so that's going to be nice.
Yeah, we got free from the snow for a couple days, and then it snowed again. It covered everything up, but now it's melting. It rained last night a little bit overnight here at my house, so it's I can see some grass again. It's whatever. It's that time of year. You never know what you're gonna get. There was talk of a snowstorm early on in the week. I don't know. I'm trying to look and see if that's a thing or not, but
Yeah, I was under the impression that it was either going to snow either Sunday or Monday next week. I don't think that's going to happen now. Not sure.
yeah, I don't see
I'm
that in
not
the
sure.
forecast. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't see that in the forecast. I see a lot of local meteorologists calling for it, but I do not see it in my forecast. So it's a total crapshoot up here sometimes in Northeast Ohio. It really changes from day to day, hour to hour. So we just whatever. We live for the moment. Anyway, let's get to probably the weirdest thing that we need to talk about, TK. So high school athletes. I mean, I don't think it's anything new that high school athletes have been kind of, making their own highlight videos lately. You can do that with technology. You can have a buddy sit at the top of the stands with a decent cell phone and record the game, and you can make a pretty good highlight video yourself. You don't need a lot of help anymore. You used to have to rely completely on, your school's whatever, the AV department to bring something out. Back in my day, that was the thing, right? There was like, that's about it. You had one source of that. Now you can literally have 20 people taking a highlight video of you from the stands, 20 different angles, whatever. So there's a lot of ways that you can enhance your highlight videos, right? Well, this is one that's probably not going to work out in the long term. So apparently high school athletes are now using AI to enhance their highlight videos, and they're sending these to college coaches. And I want to pull this up, and I was going to just play the video through, but I think I want to stop it. I don't have a spot shadow. I don't have spot shadow technology yet, TK. We don't have that right now on the Inside Edge Network, and that's okay. That's okay. But what I want to do is, like I said, TK, you can react to this with me. I'm going to pull this video up and just let you watch, and I'm going to point out some discrepancies that don't typically happen unless you're a pretty, I don't know, like a sleight of hand magician. I'm not really sure how these guys pull off some of these plays. But let's pull up the video, the AI enhanced highlight videos, and take a look at what college coaches have to deal with. As if NIL and the transfer portal is not enough. Now we got to deal with AI enhanced. Let's just watch the video. There we go. Okay, so this throw, first of all, way too high. We're going to go back. That's not a natural. The flight of the ball is not natural here, right?
Not at all. Oh my!
But that's
I thought that was a throwaway. That throw still stayed in the foul.
That's fine. That's at least somewhat natural looking. This fella seems to cover some ground that he wasn't really covering with his feet. He kind of, I don't know, like his feet weren't moving as fast as he was going. Hold on. Here's the egregious one, and I'm going to stop this one a couple times. All right. Now you see the quarterback, right? He's back. He's going to take the snap. Okay. He's in the shotgun. He's got the tailback right to his left here. Okay. So he takes the snap. Boom. Quarterback has the ball. We joked, before the show. I said, man, you're not really. This is a quarterback draw. You're not really selling the pass, right? You can already see him leaning. He's getting ready to take off. He pulls it up a second. Oh, I might be looking down the field, but no, he's running. Okay. So he's got his tailback as the lead blocker. He lost track of him. He's in here in traffic. I wish I could circle it, but he's in traffic there. He's stuck in the offensive lineman. He's lost in the forest right now. But we're gonna see something happen here. The quarterback is. Wait a minute. What happened? How did the ball get from the quarterback to the tailback here? It just magically. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. Okay, so that's the first discrepancy on this video. Now watch. See number 13 here. His number changes to number 12. Oh no, it doesn't. It just stays number 13. I was going to read it earlier. He gets in trouble, and all of a sudden the ball just morphs back to the. There it goes. Back to the quarterback. He's gone. He's gone. I have no idea how you pull that play off in real life. Like I said, just light of hand magicians here, I guess. This fella seems to get bigger on this play as he scores. I don't really. Same thing with this one. He goes into traffic. Oh no, this is a throw that didn't happen. So you're telling me this dude just threw that ball at 115 miles per hour, that 25, 30 yards downfield. Like something happened there. A frame got edited out. Something happened. But you see my point with these? Like these don't look natural. These plays do not look natural. I'm not even sure what happened on this one. I still haven't figured out how this one's AI enhanced.
So now we got a right tackle running the ball. So it runs like a 4.6 40.
Right. But you can see the egregious the ball going from the running back to the quarterback to the running back to the quarterback. There's no handoff, there's no pitch. The ball just literally morphs from one player to the other. So I guess if you're a college coach now, you got to have a pretty sharp eye when you get these highlight videos sent to you.
And I really hate this for them, as if they don't spend enough hours in the day, in the week, in the month, in the year, going over film over all these kids that are either at the universities already or planning to be a part of that university this coming fall. I mean, it's just making their job even that much harder. Now you got to, weed out flawed hick tapes with made up film on there, with AI and all kinds of other enhanced lying tools that folks use in their spare time because they really don't care to have anything better to do. I mean, this is crazy. Like I get these kids, are on a journey, into adulthood, and you guys obviously want to be a part of the best university that you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But forging your highlight tape is not going, if you guys get into these universities, if you guys manage somehow to get into these universities and they somehow or some way decide, hey, let's go back and take a look at this tape and see exactly what we saw. Mm-hmm. And then you get those intricate breakdowns of where things look falsified or AI is heavily incorporated. Do you know how much trouble you are possibly going to be in? I mean, not only is your college career, possibly going to end, you're going to owe folks a pretty decent amount of money. So, I really, I hope these kids are just, goofing off or, ready to be like, hey, listen, maybe we should stop this before something really serious happens, because this could end up being something way bigger than what it is now. It may seem like a joke now, but I guarantee you in a few months, ain't nobody gonna be laughing.
Well, and I kind of liken it to. I mean, look at the way that we still talk about the Manti Te'o situation, right? Like the
Mm.
whole, the phantom girlfriend situation, whatever. Neither here nor there. I'm not here to defend Manti Te'o, but I guess what my point is, we've got guys creating false, AI enhanced highlight videos. Imagine how we're going to talk about them when uh, the first player that secures a $1.5 million, 2 million, whatever, $2.5 million NIL deal because of AI enhanced video. If it's that subtle and that good that no one caught it, and then you go out there in Division I football, right? You're top of the top, right? It's best of the best. You go out there and get absolutely exposed because your highlight tape is not who you are, right? Those highlight videos, it doesn't represent who you are as a player. You're either editing frames out, or you're making yourself look bigger on a play, or you're making a ball look like it went 50 yards instead of 30 yards, whatever it is. I just don't. At some point, you have to know that's going to hit the head, right? Like you at some point, you're going to be exposed for that, and then you're probably, I would imagine, you have to watch the NIL contracts. I don't know what the wording is. I mean, I've clearly never been offered an NIL deal yet. Colleges out there, I don't know how much eligibility I have left, but hey, whatever. I'm 46, take a chance. There has to be language in there that if something goes wrong, you owe that money. Well, we talked about Brennan Sorsby, right? The Cincinnati quarterback. We talked about him earlier this week on Primetime. Eli and I did. Transfers to Texas Tech, ignores the details of his NIL contract, and now he's being sued by Cincinnati for $1 million, for basically an exit fee. I don't know what's going to go on with that.
$1 million exit fee. Wow.
Well, he signed an NIL deal there. He agreed to stay there for 18 months. He transferred out before the 18 months. He's going to, whatever, to Texas Tech to make a couple million. So Cincinnati's like, hey, I mean, you didn't honor the terms of your contract. I mean, it's weird that we're talking about high school kids going into college signing contracts, but I mean, when you're getting paid $1 million or more in NIL money, I think it's time to maybe start having someone that's responsible for making sure these kids know they have to honor these contracts. I mean, this isn't like, the transfer portal is what it is right now. You can leave a school, but if you sign that deal, that NIL deal that says you have to stay there 18 months, I mean, that school has the right. It may seem a little bit petty on Cincinnati's part, but I mean, TK, they're well within their rights to seek that money back. That was the contract, and he violated it. That's breach of contract. I mean, that's pretty black and white as far as legal terms go. I mean, it seems like, they're in the right for doing this, right?
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with it. And more so to the point, these kids nowadays, they are abusing the daylights out of this transfer portal. I have never seen so many kids want to leave their school after one season.
Yeah.
Like I understand, some opportunities may arise in different places that you may not know of yet. There are situations like that all the time. At the same time, it's like, look, Sonny, you have signed a contract that pays you decently over the next 4 years, especially for you being an amateur athlete. I don't know any situations where there are any amateur athletes getting millions of dollars. There are obviously, other pro leagues that are around that, have kids that are, currently in college, getting their education, trying to work on their degrees, this, that, and the other. Yeah. But in a sense of where this NIL comes in, and, I've always been for NIL. I'm glad that these kids are being paid. The thing that I was worried about was, if these kids were going to start abusing that. And, the transfer portal is being the most abused of all. We've seen a couple guys, kind of get off their rocker with the whole NIL thing. Nico demanding $4 million after one good season, and an absolute bludgeoning served by the Ohio State Buckeyes in the college football playoff. I thought that was pretty dopey. And of course, he ends up at UCLA, and half the country forgot about him that quickly. So
Well, that's what you
it's
go to hide
just
in sports, right? You go to hide on the West Coast. I mean, at least
yeah, yeah.
it's like you go out there and you
And especially at a university like UCLA that is not a football school at all.
yeah.
I really don't think these guys have even gotten basketball mentioning, not since the likes of guys like, Shabazz Muhammad
Hmm.
and Jordan Farmer, and that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So, I just really want these kids to, not only get their money, but you guys need to understand that, look, man, whether your Cinderella story plays out in the time frame in which you want it to play out in,
Hmm.
you guys are getting paid and you're attending top-notch universities.
Yeah.
You got to be able to make that work some way, somehow, unless there is just a set of circumstances to which you just cannot overcome whatsoever, no matter how much you've tried, no matter who you've talked to, no matter what you've tried to get done. It just hasn't worked. But you just leaving because of lack of playing time, sir, you are still getting paid and you are still getting your education. I
Well,
think the biggest rule of thumb here is to just continue the grind because the grind is going to continue elsewhere. When you go to that different university or what have you, you're
yeah.
going to have responsibilities at that university too. And especially if you're expected to be a top player there, you're
Yeah.
going from a reserve at one university to being the big
Yeah.
thing at another university, regardless of the division, whether it's D2, D3, FCS, it does not matter.
Right.
You guys got to be ready to perform. And so,
And you're essentially starting over when you get there. I mean, that's why I don't understand. I mean, you think you would want to just kind of I don't want to say time served like you're in prison, but just like the time that you put in at your first school, your initial school, whatever. Especially if you've got an NIL deal there, you've got to honor those the terms of that contract, that deal. Yeah, you would think you would just want to sit there and some guys transfer, and I get it. I understand. If you're an Ohio State wide receiver and you're buried in the depth chart, look, I understand. You want to get playing time. You're trying to. You're a 5-star guy. You want to go to the NFL. The best way to do that is to play and get some tape. I get it. Completely understand that. But the guys who go somewhere and leave after a year, that's a little more puzzling to me. It's like unless things were just completely misrepresented to you when you were being recruited. And again, we don't know. I mean, sometimes I think there are some behind the scenes things going on. Uh, Kids just aren't a good fit in certain schools for certain reasons, or maybe they transfer for a family reason. Maybe a relative is ill or whatever, needs advanced care, so they go home closer to the family. Those kinds of things I'll never touch. I understand that. But if you get to a school and you're, let's say, a quarterback, right? And they've got 2 or 3 starting quarterbacks ahead of you that, well, not starting quarterbacks, obviously, but quarterbacks that have been on the depth chart, whatever, that have a chance to start at the school. And you go there as the 4th guy and you go, hey, I'm going to beat these guys out. And it doesn't go well in spring practice. I don't understand the notion to want to transfer out after being there for 3 months. Now, some guys I understand, like Julian saying goes to Alabama. He gets there, he's at a meeting his 3rd day or whatever, and Nick Saban goes, hey, guys, I'm done. And Julian Sands like, well, damn, I came here to play for Coach Saban. Like, I don't want to, like, this wasn't the deal, right? And it's okay. Obviously, coaches can retire, they can move on, they can do whatever they want. So then we also have to let players do things that mirror that, and I understand that. But just to leave because, like, hey, they told me I was going to be 3rd on the depth chart and I'm 4th. And that seems like just put the work in, man. Get in the weight room, study the playbook. Like, man, listen, Mike Jackson says, "What? I don't know what I'm talking." Mike Jackson, come on, man. When have you ever known me to know what I'm talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about, man. I'm just talking, bro. That's my answer to that. But yeah, I don't know, man. We gotta fix this. We can't have guys getting sued for breach of contract because they didn't get playing time or whatever. So TK, I thought about this. Maybe this is something we can do, or not we. I'm not going to do it. Uh, what if we set up a system where we set up a tier of schools, right? Like, obviously, Ohio State, Michigan, the Blue Bloods, right, are going to be bigger conferences are going to be like your tier 1, Division 1 schools. What if we set up a system where, okay, let's say you go to Coastal Carolina, okay, you commit to Coastal Carolina, you're a quarterback, You start your freshman year, you have a pretty good year, a couple thousand yards, whatever, 25 touchdowns, a couple of picks, and you catch the eye of Oklahoma or Michigan or Ohio State or whoever, right? So
Mm,
you've got a deal in place at Coastal Carolina. Let's say you took a $850,000 NIL deal, you stay there for 2 years. Maybe these bigger schools need to pay something back to the smaller school. Maybe we need to set up like a tier of like, if you're at this school and you transfer to this school, now Ohio State owes Coastal Carolina 500,000 or 750,000. You're not paying for players. You're essentially just you're it's a kickback for, hey, you committed to an NIL deal. This guy's going to get his money. We don't. It'd be ugly to get sued for breach of contract. We'll pay the remainder of that NIL deal. Don't worry about that, right? Like they take over the payments or they kick it back to the school or whatever it is. It's essentially the same way when you see a Major League Baseball trade or a basketball trade, someone, or even in football, and someone's and someone's gonna whatever pay the rest of his salary for a trade, or I don't know.
okay.
It's the same kind of a deal. It's just it has to be worked out. I
It
think there
is.
has to be a tier and like a level. We can't have a school say, well, you can have it, but you owe us $10 million.
Right,
Okay,
right, right.
still, the guy signed a $1 million NIL deal. Like let's
Mhm.
meet halfway in between that number and zero, and
Right,
we have a talk. But I think they need to find something. And again, I think this is where NIL needs fine tuned, right? Um,
right, right.
we've got Ohio lawmakers trying to repeal. Ohio was approved for NIL deals. It's like almost every other state. I mean, there's a ton of states that do NIL deals for high school athletes. Now Ohio lawmakers are trying to take that back away. Listen, I have no problem with high school kids making their money. If you're a
Right.
player in a community and you bring a lot of attention to your school or to the community, whatever, then you absolutely deserve to do whatever commercials for the local car dealership or whatever. I'm not saying we give these kids, $500,000 cars and go, hey, you caught a football the other day. That was pretty good. Here's a car.
Right. You shouldn't have to be struggling like hell on campus either, especially if you are somewhat of importance. You may not rule the world, you may not be the dean or the DA or anything like that, but you're
Well,
still a pretty
yeah, look at this situation of
pretty
Teddy
profitable
trying to take
piece.
care of his kids, man. Like that's what I'm thinking of. Like Teddy Bridgewater is literally paying money out of his pocket to make sure his kids are safe, that they're getting rides home from practice, just making sure they get home, right? And he gets knocked, he gets fired, he gets sued, he gets whatever, and it's like okay, maybe you can look at that as impermissible or improper benefits or whatever, but man, the guy's acting out of the good of his heart, right? And Raul Havana says, listen, tattoos are expensive. Somebody's got to pay for the ink, man. Somebody has to pay for the ink. So let these tattoos, let the shop step in and say, hey, you know what? You have a $500 a month tattoo budget because you're pretty good at basketball, man, or you're pretty good at football, you're pretty good at baseball, whatever it is. Yeah, let these kids make their money. Again, I don't think it should be pay to play. We shouldn't have high schools setting up NIL collectives where it's like, okay, St. Ignatius has a $2 million budget. Hey, come to St. Ignatius and we'll pay, not only we'll cover your tuition, but we'll give you $50,000 for the year, right? It's a high school year. That's dangerous. I don't think that's what we need. No one wants to see that. So maybe, I don't know. I haven't read the whole bill. Maybe that's what Ohio lawmakers are trying to avoid. Taking NIL away completely, I don't think is a good idea, but it's got to be regulated. It can't be the Wild West out here. We've got to do something to rein this stuff in a little bit, right? TK, something. Anyway, that went on longer than I thought it was going to. Let's move on, man. We got to talk about Terry and Arnold. Speaking of the Wild West, holy cow, man. So Terry and Arnold Lions, okay, supposedly the victim of 2 separate robberies at an Airbnb in Largo, Florida. I'm not sure how that happens or how that went down. I don't know all the details of that. But the point is, then he allegedly entered into a plot to kidnap and rob the people that he felt were responsible. And there are a lot of people. There are a lot of moving parts here. There's someone's girlfriend's involved. There are friends involved in this. This is like a big. Supposedly, this is a big deal, and they're saying it's possibly big enough that, I mean, he could get hit with some pretty serious charges. He hasn't been charged with anything yet. He hasn't been arrested. No charges have been filed in any way. But I mean, have you heard about any of this, TK? What happened here?
All right, so apparently Terry and Arnold was staying at a Airbnb sometime a while ago. That Airbnb was robbed. Obviously, you had to go to the authorities. Not much was done in regards to the situation. he felt like then, hey, I need to take this into my own hands. He then decides to go there with a couple of goons that he knows, have them rob the people that he thought was, responsible for what had happened to him not too long ago. But I think he took it a little bit too far. Something that resulted in a kidnapping. He hasn't been named as a suspect, but or a prime suspect. Sorry, but his involvement in this situation, it's just a horrible look. And this is a kid that was injured early last year, going through rehab, trying to get back for the Detroit Lions to be their number one corner for the 2026 NFL season. And for this to come up, a mere month after the whole James Pierce domestic violence situation, it's a scary situation for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, if I'm Brad Holmes, if I'm Dan Campbell, I don't do anything rash just yet because this is still a young player that is going to be a considerable part of your future. Has definitely proved his worth as far as going forward and being a part of that secondary that desperately needs some help, especially after the slew of injuries that they suffered during the 2025 NFL campaign. They're going to need all the help that they can get. But a situation like this is not meant to be taken lightly. I expect the entire front office of the Detroit Lions to monitor the situation with hawk eyes. Obviously, be very patient with some of the developments coming in this case. Hopefully, Tarian isn't at fault. And if he is, hopefully the severity of that is not to the extent of where they would have to terminate the contract with the young man and possibly release him. Yeah. But this is just this is a nasty situation.
Yeah, it's a bad look. And listen, I understand the frustration. I mean, you're the victim of a couple of robberies, and people can say, well, why do you have things that are worth a couple $100,000? Well, why not? I mean, it's a young kid getting paid NFL money. Like, why he can't have nice things? We don't get to tell people how to spend their money, right? We don't get to do that
at all.
No, and you can say what you would do with your millions of dollars, and you'd save and invest, and that's you. That's fine. That's not everybody, right? Everybody doesn't do things the same way. That's clear. But I think the point is, I get the frustration, right? Like you're the victim of a couple of robberies. You feel like nothing's being done. Yeah, I mean, you feel like you've got the resources and the ability to take it into your own hands. I understand that. But at the same time, man, I mean, you've what's more important, right? Your couple $100,000 of property or your NFL career. I mean, you've got to make that decision. Like you said, hopefully, maybe it's just some friends that had his back that he got linked because the situation involves him in a way. Obviously, he was the one that was robbed originally. I don't know. I guess we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll just see what everything's alleged right now. Anyway, with no charges filed and no arrests being made or anything like that, everything's just everything that happens is alleged to have happened. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see how it goes. But yeah, I'm with you. You never want to see somebody throw their career away over a bad decision or a bad situation. Again, I understand the frustration. I get it. When nothing's being done about it and you feel like you're the victim of these crimes, robberies, whatever it is, yeah, I mean, the natural, I think, reaction is to want to protect yourself, to want to, defend yourself. But the problem is the premeditated nature of what supposedly went down. I think that's where, he could get in some trouble. And, you don't want to see that. So, yeah, hopefully, I don't know. Like I said, we just keep an eye on it. I think everything's developing, and we'll just sort of watch how it continues to develop. We're going to take a quick break, TK. We're about halfway through already. Wow, time flies, man. So, yeah, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We got to talk about some, man, we can't have nice things in Cleveland, can we? The whole trade deadline situation, you get Keon Ellis, you get Dennis Schroeder, you get James Harden. You think, hey, we've retooled, right? Well, now everybody's out. Keon Ellis has a broken finger. Harden has a broken thumb. Donovan Mitchell's missed a couple of games with a strained groin, and it's like, man, here we go. It's the second half of the season, lower body injury for Donovan Mitchell. And I know it's early. It's the end of February. Tomorrow's March, though. And groin injuries have a way of, ask Lamar Jackson with the hamstring. I mean, these lower body injuries have a way of nagging at you, and they pop back up at the worst times. By the way, I had groin stain in my nose. That's not the same thing. That's not nose out. It was a strain. It was a strain. Sometimes you got to type on letters. Hey, whatever. You know what I mean? You got to take a couple games because you get some rest for that. That's fine. But it's just like that. Like I said, it's the second half of the season, lower body injury for Donovan Mitchell, and I'm not blaming Donovan Mitchell. He's asked to shoulder quite a bit of the load. He's been at the load here for 3 seasons now. So it happens, right? It happens to guys. You can't. I struggle to call guys injury prone. Just things happen to certain guys, and it's bad luck. But yeah, the broken thumb for Harden, the broken finger for Ellis. The Cavs are a mess. We'll talk about that in a minute. They just lost to the Pistons. You wanted to see them go out and compete, and they did. They took them to overtime with a lot of people out of the game. So whatever, if that's a moral victory for you, then great. Whatever it is, it's another game of separation between the two teams. So we'll talk about that when we come back, and we will talk about some of the NFL Combine stuff because there are a whole lot of goings on. But as I mentioned earlier, the sponsor for our network here at the Inside Edge Network is Alley Rose Fragrances. So please take some time today. If you want your house to smell really, really good and you want it to be from all natural ingredients, please go to alleyrosefragrances.com. Just poke around at some of the inventory. I mean, these are handmade, hand-poured candles right here in the U.S. in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a small business. She just hit a year. In business. Just a couple of weeks ago, she hit her 1-year mark. So obviously, congratulations to her. That's awesome. That's a huge benchmark for a small business, for a startup, especially for like a one-person operation. That's pretty impressive. So please go to alleyrosefragrances.com, just like you see it there on the screen, Alley Rose Fragrances, and then add a .com. It's pretty easy. And use our code InsideEdge20 for 20% off your entire order. Your house is going to smell amazing. As I said at the top of the show, my wife we've been burning the Autumn Day candle. It smells amazing. I mean, it smells so clean. It smells so fresh all through the house. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna go back and order a lot more because it's lasted so long. It's lasted so much longer than my wife had a huge candle in there. It was gone in like 2 days, like literally 2 days of working, 10 hours a day. So 16, 20 hours, whatever. She's in there and the candle's done, right? You gotta put it in the freezer and get the wax out of there. We use it for something else or whatever. But the Alley Rose candle is still going strong. This has been 4 straight days of burning now. And it's still going strong. It smells phenomenal. So please visit our sponsor at alleyrosefragrances.com and use our code InsideEdge20 to get 20% off your entire order. Give us just about, 4 or 5 minutes. We'll be back right here on the Inside Edge Network. except my mic was muted. So I don't know how that happened, but hey, whatever. It's a fun time. Anyway, I was gonna say thanks for sticking with us. It's a Saturday morning. It's almost noon. We're almost out of here. We're gonna, but just about a half hour left, maybe of the show. Or a little bit less. Never know. Never know with us. TK, I was trying to decide what to talk about when we came back. We got to talk about the Cavs. We don't have to gloss over it too much. They're just the walking wounded, man. They lost to the Pistons last night in overtime. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that later on this evening, Real Talk with Papa Moon will be right here on the Inside Edge Network. So definitely pay attention to that when they're going to have a special episode. It's going to be fun. It's going to be with Papa Moon and Eli. So that'll be a good one. Eli's going to be talking about some happenings in his life right now, man. You don't want to miss that one. He's got a lot of things going on and just a lot of positive, exciting stuff. So definitely check out Real Talk with Papa Moon. And then TK and I will be back with you tomorrow morning at around 11 with Ryan Mosser for the Sunday Sports Show. We'll go over some more NFL Combine stuff. We're going to maybe just take a moment or two to compare Ryan Mosser's big board and the way his algorithm pans out with some of these guys. We're just going to compare with I guess the combine numbers that we've seen so far. Today we'll have quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. So we'll have almost, I think, just O linemen are left tomorrow. Is that right, TK? Yeah, offensive linemen tomorrow at 1. So by the time we go on tomorrow morning at 11, we'll have a pretty clear picture on everyone who I guess competes or participates in the combine, except for the offensive linemen. They'll go on after we're done tomorrow, and then we can talk about them next week and we can compare that. But yeah, that should be a pretty good show tomorrow. We'll talk about some other things too. We'll have a good one for you. We always do. So again, make sure that you're watching for those shows. And then of course, Eli and I are with you, primetime Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock. After that, Monday through Wednesday, you'll see Double A, Anthony Alford, our program director, on Midnight Run, where it gets really unhinged. It's crazy sports at midnight. It's fun to watch Double A. I keep mentioning, you're going to want to tune in live because eventually at some point, Double A's neighbors are going to call the cops, man. He goes off on these rants, TK. Something's going to happen, man. And I said it on primetime. The Midnight Run's going to turn into an actual midnight run. Double A might actually have to run out of there, and we'll see what happens. So please, if that happens live, you'll want to say you were there. Don't miss that. So you want to watch Midnight Run. It's at midnight, Monday through Wednesday here on the Inside Edge Network. So much more. Jersey Chasers at 7:30 on Wednesdays. We've got the Commissioner's Couch coming back with Ryan Mosser and David Cahoon. That's on there. Just there's so much going on, and we've got a schedule that we can put up for you. I mean, that's for the week of 2/22, but you understand. I mean, that's pretty much the schedule right there, right? Like I said, Real Talk with Papa Moon Saturday at 5. We're on tomorrow morning, Sunday Sports Show at 11. You've got the main event Sunday night with Rob Ruzicki, Eli Moon, and Anthony Alford. And then it's back to the normal weekday programming. Just a whole lot going on. The Side Hustle podcast. We actually had Kyle Cornell on primetime earlier this week. Eli and I did on Thursday night. So it was cool to get to work with him finally. That was a really good appearance. So if you want to if you want to go to primetime and learn about some wrestling stuff, I told Kyle when he came on, I said, listen, man, I'm not a wrestling guy. You got to talk to me like I'm 5. I mean, you got to really lay it out for me. You got to put everything out there and just pretend I'm 5 and you're teaching me to like write my alphabet, man. That's where I am with this. So appreciated him coming on and being a guest. That was a lot of fun. So thanks, Kyle, for that. And if you want to go check that out, that's on our YouTube. That's on Twitter. You can see that. And while I'm at it, I'm sorry for the promo. So many promos. Please follow us. You're already checking us out. You're watching us. We appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without you. Bottom line is we're grassroots, right? We're building this thing from the ground up. So your follow, your like, your subscription everywhere, it means a lot to us. So find us on social media. If you're watching on Twitter right now, just go click the follow button. I mean, and we appreciate that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on TikTok. Find us on Facebook. We're on Facebook. Inside Edge Net. We're the Inside Edge Net everywhere on social media. We're on Instagram. So please, again, if you're already watching and you appreciate what we're doing, or you find yourself mildly entertained by me rambling on for 20 minutes about, every show that's on the network, please just give us a follow. And I promise you, if you follow us enough, I'll stop doing this. All right, TK, we got to talk about the Cavs. I just almost broke my finger doing that promo. Maybe I should call the Cavs and try to get a deal. Man, Keon Ellis is out. He's got a broken finger. I mean, he's not out. He's just day to day, but he's out. He didn't play, right? So James Harden is out with a broken thumb. Uh, what else? Donovan Mitchell's got the strained groin, not the stained groin. We talked about that. It was the strained groin. What do we do? I mean, do we just wrap him in bubble wrap and pack it up and try for next year? Or, Max Strus is going to be coming back. Is he like, what am I walking into, man? It's like the hospital ward over here. It's like, what? Are they going to be okay, TK?
The Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be just fine. Here's the thing that I got from last night's game. Albeit in a tough loss, I absolutely love the depth that we have. Now, with our depth, it is not as consistent and, rid of flaws like we would like it to be. Because I definitely think last night was an indicator that, you do have star talent on this basketball team. Especially, you very well may have the best backcourt in the NBA right now. But at the same time, you do not necessarily need to hold all your cards in one basket, considering whether or not these two guys are going to be available or not. You have a team that is able to make big plays. You got a big game from Sammy Merrill last night. I think he had 22. Jared Allen was great. He had 25. Evan Mobley looks like he's going back to being his regular self. He had 23. There's a lot of depth on this basketball team that is going to be important come April and beyond. During that OKC game, maybe a week ago or so, I wasn't really sure that we did the best job of showing that. Granted, we were able to come back and make somewhat of a game out of that with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, and A.J. Mitchell not in attendance for that game. And for you to lose by 8 points, that wasn't very comforting at all. I really didn't think that they did a great job of showing exactly how deep this team is or could possibly be, given a chance for a big run, late in the season and obviously into the postseason. But in that game last night versus the Pistons, who are clearly the best team in the East, I definitely walked away from that game thinking, that was a dumb way to lose, but at the same time, we do have a very deep team. And granted, if a couple of stars go down or what have you, we're not going to get washed so easily. We have guys that can make plays. We have guys that can fill in seamlessly and still make big things happen for this team. You don't have to worry about getting blown out or having the game get away from you too soon. So I definitely think the Cavs are in good shape as of right now. Guys got to continue to think ahead. You're 37-24 right now. It's not the other way around. There's no reason to panic. Granted, I'm sure you probably want to keep a top 4 seed. It is not the end-all, be-all. I definitely think this team is going to be fine. Continue to heal up. You don't necessarily have to put them in bubble wrap to keep them, away from contact for the rest of the season. But I definitely think that carefully managing these injuries is going to be paramount.
Now, listen, don't tell the commissioner. Don't let him know that you said managing anything because they'll go medieval. He's not
managing, not load managing. No, just regular managing.
Okay, all right. Adam Silver's not. He's okay. He's gonna leave us alone now. So listen, I have a question. Are you telling me that? Are you telling me that? So this year's Cavs team, should I be more comfortable? Let's say Donovan, everything's fine. Everybody's finger, their thumb heals, everything's all good. Max Strus comes back, his foot's fine. We're good to go for the playoffs, and we go in. And Donovan Mitchell, after game 1, has a lower body injury. Like I said, I'm not projecting this. I'm not predicting that this is what's going to happen. I'm just being prepared. Donovan Mitchell has a calf or a quad or a hamstring or groin, it's still bugging him or whatever. Should I feel better about this year's Cavs team than I did last year's?
Well, me personally, I already feel better about this year's team than last year's. Yeah. Believe it or not, because the whole time last year, I'm like, okay, we're winning a bunch of games, but what exactly are we going to do? Because I've been a Cavs fan long enough to where certain playoff series and certain seasons still scar me. I'm still one of those guys complaining about the 2021 series against the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Regardless of how long ago that was, I'm still scarred by that. And then of course, you win 64 games, you win the East. Yeah, we look great. Beat the piss out of Miami Heat. Okay. Then Indiana comes. Now what? You lose the first 2 games at home, lose 2 out of 3 at Indy, and you're already gone. So
yeah, and the perception was going into that series. You remember? I mean, people Cavs in 5. Cavs
yeah,
it's a gentleman's sweep.
a lot of us said that. I thought it was going to be us 6 because I knew of the depth that Indiana had. I knew exactly how they ran their team. I didn't know exactly how great they really were, though, and I blame myself for sleeping on them. In that regard, we should have been ready for a more physical team. I didn't think, with their front court, obviously guys like Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner. I didn't really think the world of that front court. Obviously, Pascal Siakam is a build from the ground up, all-star, all-world guy at the power forward position. Aaron Nesmith was a guy that kind of came out of nowhere, your quintessential 3-and-D guy. Yeah. And the same thing with Miles Turner, who has developed into a pretty solid three-point shooting big, and obviously is a wonderful rim protector. So I definitely blame myself for sleeping on them. Yeah. But this year, I just think that there is more of a focus to getting an entire team on the same page, getting production out of as many guys as humanly possible. I do think last year we were kind of stuck with that 10-man rotation, and even in some instances, we had guys that were a part of that 10-man rotation that were still dealing with some type of injury somewhat. Remember Darius Garland, that toe has been bothering him since post-COVID. So it's just you have these injuries that you gotta power through them. You have to figure out ways to make things work, and they did the best that they could. Obviously, the Miami series was great. Indiana, not so much. Now at 37-24, it's kind of odd to hear me say that I am more confident in this team, but something just feels right. I feel like all the boxes have been checked. We have great shooting. We have great scoring. Our defense is now improved. You're getting valuable contributions defensively from Jared Allen, who seemed to take a step back from that. He used to be a menacing rim protector the later days that he had in Brooklyn, and when he first came to Cleveland, he was definitely a high-end rim protector. Kind of tapered off a little bit the past couple of years. He's starting to get back to that a little bit. Obviously, Evan Mobley is a great defender as well, another solid rim protector. Yeah. Obviously,
yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah. Obviously, having Keon Ellis in the fold helps too. Hopefully we get him back soon. So, yeah, I definitely think all the necessary boxes have been checked. Shooting, scoring, defense, rebounding is still kind of an issue every now and again. You'd like to see that get a little bit more consistent. Yeah. But I think we'll get a more solid answer once we get to the tail end of this regular season.
Yeah, I think that's just that the rebounding, I think, goes with the Cavs. They just need to be a little bit more of a physical team. They're just not very physical at times. And I think sometimes they let those long rebounds go. But their schedule is weird coming up. They're at Brooklyn tomorrow. They've got another shot Tuesday night at Detroit. They'll get a second shot. Maybe you get some guys back for that one. Maybe Harden rests his thumb for a couple of days. He's back. Who knows about Keon Ellis? Maybe you got Donovan Mitchell back against for the second iteration of Cavs Pistons. And then apparently it's the All-Star break again. They have 5 days off before they play Boston on the 8th. I thought that seemed odd to me. They go from Tuesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Weird. Did somebody cancel a game? Like it's like Little League, right? It's like League, whatever. Somebody didn't have enough players, right? So they just canceled the game. But yeah, so then on out. They've got a couple. They got a back-to-back with over 2 days with Dallas. They've got a weird schedule going forward. It's not overly challenging if you look at it. I mean, I guess every NBA team is an NBA team, but not a lot of. I don't see a lot of Thunder on here. I don't see Nuggets. I don't see a lot of top contenders that are going to wear them down. We'll see. I don't know. We'll just keep an eye. It's another thing we just have to keep an eye on going forward. It just concerns me that we're talking about, the broken finger and the broken thumb don't concern me as much, unless it lingers to the point where Keon Ellis can't shoot or he can't
Mm.
whatever. But you can go out and D somebody up with a broken finger. That's not going to be a problem. They're not looking to Keon Ellis to get a ton of scoring, so whatever, right? James Harden, the thumb is on his non-shooting hand. Does it affect his handles? Yeah, probably. I'm sure he's playing through some pain or whatever, but I feel like that won't affect him too much. The the groin strain, not the stain, the groin strain concerns me for Donovan Mitchell. I just looked at my notes. That concerns me for Mitchell going forward because that's the kind of a thing that nags you, right? And it's like when the worst possible time, when you need that first quick step on somebody, you go to take off, and boom, there's the groin strain again. And now it's another 4 or 5 day process. And in the playoffs, that's gonna be a tough go. At least they will have Harden. They'll have Max Strus back. You've got Mobley and Jared Allen playing pretty well. They played pretty well together last night. Seems to be a point of contention, if Mobley and Allen can really coexist on the same team. But they played fine last night. Again, we'll just keep an eye on it going forward. I was going to talk about the NFLPA survey stuff. I think we've all beat it to death. TK, you saw the grades, right? The Browns got.
Not surprised at all.
No.
Well, maybe for a few of them. Maybe a few of them. I definitely thought that the home and game field would be a little bit lower. But turned out to be a B. So guess shows what I know.
Well, maybe that move is necessary. Maybe they don't need to go to Brook Park.
Maybe we don't, but obviously we're going to go anyway. So let's see if over there. The biggest surprise for me is that C next to team ownership. I thought that was extremely laughable. The fact that they gave us a C for that. We get a C for team ownership, but as far as treatment of families, locker room, food and diner area, and team travel, we are all in the D category for those.
Yeah, so that's a great point. That's a great point to get. How does the ownership see when all the areas that come directly from the ownership are a D minus and F? I mean, yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, that survey to me is just a hunk of doo-doo and a huge waste of time.
Well, and even the NFL said so. I don't know if you saw there was a little bit of a blip in the article that came out from ESPN that said the NFL is like, we can't even verify these results. These might not even be the real grades. Every year this stuff leaks. That's not really what our league's about. But
can't be.
A lot of teams that got Fs and some things. So whatever. The Browns are at the bottom of the barrel again. They're not last. If it makes you feel any better, the Steelers were last. Does that make you feel better? Whatever.
Steelers still won 10 games.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So I don't feel better at all.
Despite that, they still find a way to get it done on the field. So that's where the Browns are lacking. Oh man, whatever. It's fine. Let's talk about a couple of quick combine things, and then we'll get out of here. We'll go more into the combine tomorrow. I just want to give a quick tease. Because like I said, we'll have Ryan Mosser's big board, and we can kind of compare what his algorithm said these guys might look like versus what they actually combine. I think it's going to be that'll be a fun comparison. But man, how about Sonny Styles, linebacker Sonny Styles with a 43.5-inch vertical and a 4.46 40 at what is he 6'5", 244 pounds.
That kid needs to be in the NBA.
Whew, man. I mean, you've seen his high school basketball video, right? Not AI enhanced, by the way. Not AI enhanced. It's
not at all.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete. Somebody's going to get a great athlete. But listen, we've seen great athletes go at the top. Remember Vernon Golston? Vernon Golston absolutely destroyed the combine. His physique, it was like his muscles had muscles. It was ridiculous, right? Like a football player. And he never did a single thing in the NFL. So
not even one sack.
Yeah, right. It's wild. And somebody made a funny comment. They were talking about Sonny Styles and Lorenzo Styles Jr. And listen, I don't expect these guys to fail in the NFL. That's not what I'm saying. But somebody's like, man, remember that like a lot of the times, like when these guys are really super fast, like this at the combine, they show out but you can jump, you can run. But if you don't know how to read and diagnose an offense and what's happening in front of you on the field, then you just make mistakes really fast, right? Like so there is that. I mean, you still have to be a football player. I mean, I think they've shown their pedigree. I mean, of course you lose a couple of games here and there. It doesn't mean Like, well, they lost to Miami. They're garbage. They'll never make it in the NFL. That's ridiculous. It just like people don't know how to watch sports, man.
They don't.
It's wild.
I kind of blame sports gambling for that because everybody is just turned into a top tier crash out when they have money invested. So I get that.
Yeah.
But in terms of Sonny Styles doing what he did at the combine, I hate saying this, but you obviously don't want to get caught up with the Mike Mamula syndrome. Obviously, I'm sure not to poke fun at your age, but I'm sure that was a cat that you heard of in high school.
Oh, yeah.
During the 1994 NFL draft buzzing. How great he did at the combine, and obviously the Philadelphia Eagles drafted him 7th overall. And he obviously didn't fit the bill, unfortunately. And that's just the painful reality of some of these games or some of these stories, man. You get all the hype and all the euphoria surrounding you. You got that pedigree built up, and you just don't meet expectations. Things like that happen. And so you hope Sonny doesn't get caught up in that. We love the numbers. We obviously love the number 6'4.5", 6'5", 245. Kid runs a sub 4.5 40. I mean, these are freakish numbers. Especially for a linebacker, and to see his teammate Arvell Reese do the exact same thing. I mean, they both had identical 40 times of a 4.46. And how about a big shout out for Sonny's brother, Lorenzo? Cousin ran the fastest 40 time this weekend at 4.27 seconds. Was an absolute speeding bullet running down that line. There's a lot of speed in this draft. A lot of guys ran in that 4.4, 4.5 area. And quite a few guys did 4.3 area as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of speed in this here draft. So, yeah, you just go on.
And I was just saying the Vanderbilt tight end had like a 43.5-inch vertical. He actually put up some better numbers than I expected.
Eli Stowers' vertical leap measured out at 45.5 inches at 250 pounds.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I mean, TK, the only time you've ever seen me that high in the air is if I've fallen off something. I can't. If I'm on the roof.
Likewise, my brother.
Yeah.
Likewise.
That's it. I don't even know. I was thinking about like a 4.5 40. I don't know that there's any point in my life. I think I ran a 4.7 something in high school. This unofficial, right? Just like the stopwatch or whatever.
Right.
I know that I could run a 4.5 20 now. Really, to be honest with you, I think I'm not sure it would have to be. Oh, come on.
I know I couldn't.
Well, yeah, I just whatever. I'm not. Well, I'm still athletic. It's hidden by layers of insulation now. I'm insulated. I'm more insulated than I used to be. That's no problem. I stay warmer in the winter. What do you want from me? Not cooler in the summer. That's not how that works. But yeah, I was looking at Mike Mamula. At least he had 31.5 sacks during his career. That's pretty good. So he had that going for him over Vernon Golston. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just we'll get more into the combine stuff. But there were some guys that numbers kind of popped off the page to me a little bit. And you were just mentioning the Sonny Styles thing, Lorenzo Styles. Can you imagine what that family looks like when they have like family get-togethers and they have like a pickup basketball game? Can you imagine? Like that's not like a normal pickup basketball game at the park, man. Like that, you got guys throwing dunks down that are probably like they got that's ridiculous. Man. The athletic.
That's a reincarnation of the 1992 Summer Olympics.
Seriously,
that's what that is.
The dream team picnics, like that's wild, man.
Sheesh.
It was cool to see them show out. Fernando Mendoza, we got to talk about this before we get out of here. I just have this sneaking suspicion looking at these grades on this NFLPA survey, and then we didn't even get to a couple of stories. We'll save it for tomorrow. Supposedly, the Browns have officially they want to change the NFL, the Constitution. They want to be able to trade their draft picks further out. So not only did they feel like, I guess Andrew Berry and company feel like they didn't screw the Browns enough with the Deshaun Watson trade. Now they want to trade draft picks 2 years further out. They want to go out 5 years instead of the NFL's current 3-year mark or whatever, which apparently isn't clearly there's no clear language on this in the NFL Constitution. So the Browns may have a loophole where they pretty much can just suggest it, and it'll become a thing because there's no actual language against it. But they still have to vote for it. So the Browns want to trade draft picks out to 5 years now. Am I the only one that finds it funny that this coincides with the timing that someone might have suggested to Fernando Mendoza that he should get arrested so that he can slip down the draft board a little bit and they can take it? Am I the only one that's putting 2 and 2 together here and thinking like maybe Andrew Berry told Fernando Mendoza to get arrested? Would you put it past the Browns to do this? Or I mean, who did it? Who told Fernando Mendoza to get arrested? PK, what happened?
Oh, well, no, it wouldn't surprise me at all. The oodles and boodles of absolute asinine things that come out of Berea, Ohio, has been at an unlimited expense. So, to be quite honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he said that. But yeah, I just think it wouldn't make any sense. I think a lot of people would have questions. Obviously, when you see Fernando Mendoza, when he does those interviews, how passionate he is, how faith-driven he is, how well-spoken and eloquent he is, it wouldn't make much sense. Obviously, you would have to, take the severity of what he got arrested for into consideration. Obviously, you gotta think. But if it's something petty or something small that could have been, resolved rather quickly, it's like, okay, this doesn't feel genuine at all. I still think this kid is by far the best quarterback prospect in the draft. Given that this quarterback class is, for the better words, a snooze fest. It makes me sleepy thinking about it.
Yeah.
You think of all the hype and euphoria surrounding this class going into the 2025 college football season, and then just watching all these young men just fall short of that. Or you had a lot of cats who decided to come back. You think obviously the big one was Dante Moore.
Yeah.
Deciding to go back to Oregon.
What's Dylan Raiola going to do? That's a wild situation.
Yeah. And exactly with Oregon. And they also have Dylan Raiola, who foolishly committed to the University of Oregon. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, look, son, if I'm you, I'm riding that A train all the way out to the draft. You're playing for the
Oregon quarterback. I didn't understand that move. It felt weird. It was such a weird forced move, but whatever.
And it's like, you were the man out there in Omaha.
Yep.
Much different story in Eugene, buddy. You're gonna have to do some work this offseason.
He's not playing there.
But in regards to that, it's like, listen, man. I just think there are going to be some teams that obviously want to get up for the number 1 pick. But if I am the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm making you give up your entire chest, and then I'm making you find some other treasure laying around the house to give to me as well.
Yeah.
As they are in as prime a position to enjoy a quick rebuild as a team could hope to be, just with the ability to be able to select Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
The big thing for me with this whole thing with the Raiders, how are you the last team to hire a head coach, but you got the second best guy? There were 10 teams that needed a head coach. You got the number 2 guy in February. This is why I tell people sometimes it pays to wait.
Maybe.
Sometimes it makes the most sense to just say, hey, listen, maybe we need to feel this out a little bit. Maybe there's no real need to rush this pick. There's no reason for you to fire a head coach. You already got one the next week.
Yeah.
Granted, hey, you move fast, you move properly, you knew what you wanted, and granted, it worked out for you. Oh, that's what you always hope for, that it actually works out.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it doesn't work out. And for the Las Vegas Raiders, they were able to make that work. So, yeah, you got to keep that number 1 overall pick. And if somebody wants it, you got to force them to bet the house.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said for the Raiders being in Vegas and having a newer facility. I think there's a lot of draw there,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You got to bet the house. You got to want the tools outside the house. You got to want the mailbox. You got to want the bushes, the hedges, all that.
Yep.
If you're going to go with that pick right now,
Hmm.
which they're not going to do. So
No. And why? And it made me laugh because the Raiders are the team with the number 1 overall pick. Why, of all organizations, would the Raiders even worry about Fernando Mendoza getting arrested? If anything, that might make his signing bonus go up. I thought it was like, man, it's the Raiders. They don't care about that. Real quick, Roll says, did Barry have Greg Robinson call him? Made me laugh. Listen, man, I don't know. I don't know what in the world the Browns are doing. What are they cooking up? Why are they trying to trade more picks? Why are they trying to trade further out? Just to mortgage more of the future for what? For who? What's the plan? Is it just a long-term plan? Why do the Browns identify that as a change that needs to be made within the NFL constitution, so to speak? You know what I mean? That terrifies me because I don't trust the Browns to make good decisions when it comes to these things. So maybe don't stir the pot, don't whatever, don't rock the boat, whatever the sayings are. Just chill out, man. Keep your picks. If you're going to trade back within the same round. I don't have a problem with them trading back if Dallas wants to offer, 12 and 20 for 6 or whatever. I'm all right with that. I don't think you lose a ton of value, and I think you actually gain more value with having, what would it be, 12, 20, and 24. So whatever, I would be okay with that, but whatever. Let's, we can talk about that tomorrow on the show. And as we lead into the draft, we've got a couple of months here. We've got a little bit of time. So we've got, plenty of draft stuff to go over, all the combine stuff. We'll mash all the numbers. We'll talk about all the 40 times, all the irrelevant things. You see Ruben Bain has really short arms, TK. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm curious to know if Brian Monster's algorithm says, hey, wait.
Someone in a group chat with me commented on the Ruben Bain Jr. measurements and said that son was built like a bomb. And I lost it. I lost it. I'm like, wow. that is a hell of a way to put it, man. But, listen. This is a guy who is extremely versatile. He can play both on the line and off of it.
Yeah.
So I really don't think it is a done deal just because his arms are a little short. Now, does he go top 5? That's going to be a question that's going to have to wait until April. To be quite honest, I don't know if he'll still go as high as many people projected, but he still very well will be a first-round pick, and more so than anything, top half of the first round. So I'm not too worried about the whole short.
I get it. You lose a little bit of leverage, especially when you're going up against offensive tackles in the NFL who are typically, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", with long arms, whatever. You lose that leverage, which I get it. But it didn't. I mean, listen, I watched him play against. It didn't stop him against Ohio State. It didn't affect him. It didn't keep him from making plays there. So whatever. It's one of those things. I mean, all the measurements get overblown. We've seen Vernon Golston go way higher than he should have because of measurements. We've seen Joe Burrow. The talk was he had tiny little hands or whatever. All this stuff. And by the way, I think it intrigues me. Like I always forget how they measure hands or whatever at the combine. But I always think, how do my hands measure up against these guys? So maybe I'll do that. I'll have that measurement for the show tomorrow. I'll figure out how they measure hands. But yeah, that's about it, TK. You have any final thoughts before we get out of here,
man? The biggest thing you had asked me about the Andrew Berry situation, as to why he wants to trade picks for the next 5 years as opposed to, the big mistake that he did doing the 3 years. Mm-hmm. I truly think in the midst of Black History Month that Andrew Berry wants to continue to make his ploy for luckiest Negro in America to still be able to have his job, especially after the plain and simple piss poor job overall that he has done as our general manager. And to say something this asinine, especially after the way that the Deshaun Watson trade has played out for us. It just shows a high level of entitlement. I don't want to say ignorance because he is a Harvard graduate. He knows what the hell he's doing. He just thinks we don't, which, again, I think is extremely foolish, very abrasive on his part. Granted, I I do believe that he has a legitimate reason for why he wants to do these. Uh, I just wish he didn't. Trading because you saw how much it crippled us getting rid of 3 first-round picks for the time period that we had, 3 years, obviously, with the
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson trade, and now you want to add on to that. I don't see I don't see the point in that at all.
No.
Like, gee, I broke my thumb. Maybe I'll break my wrist this time. What the hell are you saying, AB? I just don't get this thinking at all.
If you're gonna wreck your hand, wreck the whole hand, right? Why not?
Exactly, and you shouldn't think about something like that. But this is again, he's what a time to show it. Look at me, America. I am by far the luckiest Negro in America in 2026, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. That is until I get fired in 2027, and then you guys can have all your laughs.
Yeah. Well, listen, Raul agrees with you. He says Barry should be sweating more than Ray Farmer, who I will never forget. By the way, Ray Farmer hated wide receivers. I never understood that. I didn't get that.
Yeah. I couldn't have been more glad. Other than George Kokinis, he was easily the worst general manager that we've had since we've been back. Tom Heckert, rest in peace, God rest his soul, is also up there. Trading the 6th overall pick to the Atlanta Falcons for Phil Taylor and Owen Marisic. So, yeah,
he really contributed on special teams.
We've had some stinkers over the years, my boy.
Hey, Phil Taylor from Baylor was tough until he tore that pec, man. That changed his career. But
he was all right, but I'd rather listen to him crash out on someone else's podcast and watch him play football.
All right, well, listen, we've got some time before the draft. We're going to talk about all the combine stuff. But listen, you heard it here first. If between now and draft night, probably on draft night, if you see Fernando Mendoza pop up with the gas mask on, okay, listen, that was probably Andrew Berry and AI. I mean, the Browns are cooking something up, man. They're ready. They're ready to go get their guy. And I wondered about this, too. I thought about this while I was just talking to you, while you were answering that question about Berry. I wonder if they're not thinking about maybe getting rid of it's right. We'll bring it back on the flashback jokes. I'll put it up in a second. But I wonder if they're not thinking about maybe moving Myles Garrett and trying to get years of first-round picks from somebody. Maybe that's the reason for wanting to go out 5 years. Maybe he's actually trying to cook and do something. TK.
Now he does that. Holgram is sitting in the Muni lot eating all the playoff tickets.
Don't come see me for playoff tickets. I hate him. Yeah, don't come see me.
He went back to Northwest Washington years ago. He ain't thinking about us. Anyway, I just think, at this point in time, we need to be trying to find ways to get the top talent.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear shit about trading down or trying to save money or anything of that nature. You lie to us every chance you get anyway. Lie to us about potentially finding top-level talent for this team and doing it by any means necessary. We don't need to get rid of the entire chest of draft picks just because we did it once and it ended horribly. So, let's make things worse because the hell with it. We're bored. This is something to do. And it's just like, listen, I don't want to hear anything about trading down. I really don't. Like, granted,
are you sure?
like
because Raul trade down to 22, man. Are you sure?
Yeah, so we can get another first-round draft bust. What a wonderful idea, Raul.
All the great picks have come from 22, though. All the great picks, TK. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm good on that. But yeah, it's just look, man. You have 10 draft picks. Obviously, you're going to want to do some moving around. I don't like the idea of dropping from 6 to 12. I just don't.
Okay.
Especially when you need top-end talent on offense, most notably wide receiver and left tackle.
Yeah.
There are a couple of players in mind that you could take at 6.
Yeah.
to fill that need because you don't have a lot of money to spend in free agency. So you got to take this draft as seriously as he took last year's draft. I don't know why the hell it took him 5 years to have a great draft, but he had one.
Yeah, it went a little goofy in the middle, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he wants us to hang on to that by a thread. And it's like, look, man, you got to do that again.
Cheers.
Johnny Manziel, never forget. Yeah, don't forget Brandon Whedon either.
Whew.
Or Brady Quinn.
Man, we're killing it on the draft.
22nd overall pick needs to never land in our lap again. If we ever get that pick again, you trade that immediately.
Trade it for a 4th rounder. It doesn't matter. Just get it out of there. It doesn't matter. Get it out of there.
I'll trade that damn thing for a fringe player in the 7th round. I don't give a damn. I don't want the 22nd pick ever again for this franchise. Never.
Doesn't work. 22 is not the number for the Browns. They maybe just need to retire the number, not because of anything good. Just don't even let anybody wear number 22 for the Browns. Just get it out of there.
Just retire the number, put skulls and crossbones by the damn thing, and a devil emoji too.
That's it. Hey, that's pretty much it for us. We're gonna get out of here. We are out of time. We're gonna get off the airwaves in a few hours. You've got Real Talk with Papa Moon. He's gonna have Eli Moon on there, so that'll be a little family affair tonight. You can listen to that. We got one comment before we go. Yes, I agree. Justin Gilbert was the best unscouted draft pick ever. They were just like, hey, I heard that guy's pretty athletic. Want to pick him up? Pick him up. Put him on the team. Why not? Let's get him out there. Listen, guys, we appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow for the Sunday Sports Show. Again, you got Real Talk with Papa Moon coming up at about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Sunday Sports Show tomorrow night with Rob Rosticki, Eli Moon, and Anthony Alford. For TK Dandridge, I am Chad Bryan. We're out of here. Enjoy your Saturday. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the Sunday Sports Show. Peace.